No,
Good afternoon.
thank you very much. How was your lunch?
It was fantastic.
Who hosted you?
Uh, the same committee chair.
We don't have money. I know the one who hosted you. You are welcome to your committee once again. And before before we start our meeting, I would like to confer Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia that gives immunity to members of parliament when they sit in this nature, this arrangement. That Cap 12 protects you, Council Secretary, and your team, that whatever you say before this committee cannot be used against you in the courts of law or outside this meeting, as long as you give factual and verifiable information. However, the same Cap 12 CS can be used against you if you willfully decide to mislead this committee. It is my belief that you are going to help us by giving us factual information that will make us do a report that we shall present before the main house. With that said, Council Secretary, I would like to ask you to introduce yourselves individually by giving us your name and position, starting with yourself, CS.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairperson. My name is Kennedy Shombo. I'm the Council Secretary for SIAVONGA Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon also, honorable members of the committee. Thank you.
Okay. Then we can start. Anyone in order.
Good afternoon, Chairperson.
Yes.
Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, team.
You can pull closer your mic to your mouth.
My name is Skazwe Newton. I'm Director Finance SIAVONGA Council.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, team. My name is Moyo with us. I'm Acting Director Planning.
Thank you. Your mic, Mr. Moyo. Off your mic. Correct.
Good afternoon, Chair.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, team. I'm White Dixon Nguni, the Council Advocate. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Amtinta Sinzala, Senior Procurement and Supplies Officer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Gertrude Zimba Chikuta. I'm the Internal Auditor.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members and the permanent witness. My name is Peter Machona, Director of Engineering for SIAVONGA Town Council.
Okay. Thank you. Other members, you can go. There's a mic there where there is our officer from the commission.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair.
Good afternoon,
honorable members. My name is Judith Luita. I'm the Social Economic Planner, SIAVONGA Town Council.
Afternoon, Chairperson. Afternoon, members of this committee. Chilwaputa is my name. I'm the accountant for SIAVONGA Town Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of this committee. My name is Changa Ruben. I'm a committee clerk.
Your position?
I'm a committee clerk, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Permanent witnesses, starting with the AG's office.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon once more. And your committee, Chair. Good afternoon, SIAVONGA Town Council. My name is Alphonsus Malambo, Director. I'm accompanied by other officers who introduce themselves. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, SIAVONGA Town Council. And good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. My name is Martin Nguni, Assistant Director, Southern Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. Good afternoon, SIAVONGA.
My name is Achuya Davis, Assistant Director, Local Authorities Department, Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Audit Division, and you are welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. SIAVONGA Town Council, you're welcome, and good afternoon to you. My name is Joyce Kubansa from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Honorable members, good afternoon. Thank you so much. SIAVONGA, you're welcome. My name is Mutali Mishek. I'm from the Local Government Service Commission. Thank you. Thank you. Clerk's office.
Good afternoon, Chair. Simaloli Namwenga from the Clerk's office.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members and everyone. My name is Manamamwape in the office of the clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk, National Assembly of Zambia.
Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, SIAVONGA, and welcome to your Committee on Local Government Accounts. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe, constituency in the Petoge District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you. Mangango.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, SIAVONGA, you are most welcome before your committee. Afternoon, our permanent witnesses, our viewers and the listeners out there. Good afternoon to you too, Chair. We want to say good afternoon also to our people that are following on the Parliament radio. Yes, it's imperative that people follow, even on Parliament TV. We are there on DSTV, Topstar. We are also there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. You are advertising very well. Honorable Member for SIAVONGA.
Chairperson, I thank you. Good afternoon, SIAVONGA Town Council. Afternoon, permanent witnesses, colleagues. Good afternoon. Chairperson, my name is Murunda Darius, Member of Parliament for SIAVONGA constituency. Thank you, Chairperson. You know, you don't allow meandering. Chairperson, I thank you.
I will introduce.
Chair, apologies, I didn't even mention my name.
I haven't given you the opportunity.
Yes, Chair, but people must know that this is Mwene Lohamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you so much, Chair.
Your focus should be to the point. You introduce yourselves, but if you're a marketing manager for Parliament TV, then it becomes something else. On a lighter note, CS and your team, my name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful and good people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair your committee. With that said, I would like to welcome you once again and ask that you take us through your report.
Thank you, Chairperson. Before I start, I'm asking your permission to add the addendum to my report.
Bring as many as you so wish. We want to be fair and interact on a fair scale.
Yes. So
you can hand them over, pass them over to our secretariat. Yes.
So the content of the addendum as follows. Number 1, replacement of minute extract, that is on appendix number 1. Then also additional attachment to appendix 30. And also on appendix 21, we are including pictorial evidence.
So when you reach to that point, you just refer us to the addendum. We shall be able to check and approve.
Thank you, Chair.
You can take us through your report.
So my report, I'll start on page number 1. That is on specific findings. The query is on over expenditure and management response. That is cause of the query. Management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding and wishes to state that the over-expenditure to the tune of 184,635 for disaster component was attributed to an interim payment of 376,143 that was made towards Swasco Limited. The payment was for the urgent need to construct, supply, and installation of water recirculation system at Siabamba Primary School in Nanyanga Ward. Also, another over expenditure on empowerment to the amount of 29,262. This overpayment was as a result of the payment which was made on the approved list. Then management further wish to state that the over expenditure to the tune of 179,000 that was due to loan recoveries, as we have tabulated on the table below, and the balance of 52,565 was added to the following year CDF allocation. Then on action taken, management wishes to report that the authority was given by the CDF committee to have the over expenditure be considered under the disaster and grant empowerment components allocation for the funding of 2024. Further, management is in collaboration with Zanaco Bank. The loan manager has since come up with a loan recovery database to keep track on the funds being recovered into the revolving fund for further loan disbursement. The evidence is on Appendix 1. The major measures, Chair, management to ensure that it restricts adheres to the CDF components allocations and guidelines in the implementation of the CDF programs. The next query is on delayed implementation of projects pertaining to rural electrification and production units to the tune of 1,040,000 kwacha. The cause of the query under management response, management acknowledges the Auditor's General findings on the delayed implementation of rural electrification project as well as the production unit at the time of audit. However, management wish to report to the committee that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development is implementing the rural electrification project, and while for the production unit, SIAVONGA Secondary School delayed in the submission of the project proposal as it is a requirement. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the production unit for the school project has since been implemented at SIAVONGA Secondary School and is currently in use. Further, management wishes to report that a letter of intent was agreed with the Rural Electrification Authority, that is LEA, as the designated body to undertake the project, and the local authority awaits for further guidance from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The evidence is on Appendix 2, Chair. The major measures, management will endeavor to complete all approved projects within a fiscal year or economic year in order to avoid delay. In addition, management will continue to monitor projects that are currently approved at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The next query is on delayed construction of 1x3 classroom block at Dibwe Primary School. The cause of the query, management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that the delay in completing the project was attributed to the inaccessibility of the roads leading to the project site, which hindered the contractor's ability to carry out the necessary works within a prescribed time. Action taken. The project has been completed at a total sum of 850,000 and awaits for handover. The evidence is on Appendix 3. The major measures, management will endeavor to complete all approved projects within a fiscal year or financial year without any delays by timely identification and implementation of projects. The next query, delayed completion of an ablution block at Hanunga Primary School. Management response, that is cause of the query. Management acknowledge the Auditor's General findings and wish to state that the contractor delayed to construct an ablution block due to the contractor abandoning the project site despite management giving warnings to the contractor. The contractor failed to return to the site, resulting in significant delays, and consequently, the local authority exercised its right to terminate the contract due to prolonged lapse of time and non-performance. Further, in order to expedite completion of the remaining works, CDF committee approved additional funding of 40,000 on the 23rd November 2024. Action taken, the project chair has been completed to a tune of 443,071 kwacha, and it has been handed over. Evidence is on Appendix 4. Remedial measures, management will endeavor to complete all approved projects within a financial year without delay by timely identification and implementation of approved projects. The next query, Chair, delayed construction of an ablution block at Kaliba Secondary School. Cause of the query for management response, management acknowledged the Auditor's General finding and wish to report that the contractor also abandoned the site despite giving the warning to the contractor, which resulted in significant delays. Therefore, the local authority exercised its right to terminate the contract due to prolonged lapse of time and non-performance. Furthermore, management through the CDF committee approved additional funding of 27,668 ngwe to complete the remaining works. Action taken, the project has since been completed and commissioned to the tune of 386,044 kwacha 8 ngwe, and the project has already been handed over. The evidence is on Appendix 5. Remedial measures, management to ensure to complete all approved projects within a financial year to avoid projects spilling over to the following year through identification and through timely identification and implementation of approved projects. The next query, Chair, is on the delayed completion of Kalea Clinic. Management response. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor's General findings and wishes to report that the delay to complete the project was due to the alignment of partitions for observation room, wards, and toilet location during the project implementation phase, and that caused another extension due to the request from the end users, who are the Ministry of Health. Action taken, the project chair has since been completed to the tune of 1.3 million, 26,773.82 ngwe, and it has been handed over. The evidence is on Appendix 6. The major measures, management will endeavor to complete all approved projects within a single financial year without any delay by timely identification and implementation of all approved projects. The next query, Chair, is on delayed construction of Chalokwa Rural Health Posts. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to state that the delay to construct Chalokwa Rural Health Post in Nanyanga Ward was due to the disagreement between the contractor and management following the alignment of partitions for observation room, wards, and toilet location during the project implementation phase, which was demanded by the Ministry of Health, who are the end users. Further, the CDF committee also failed to approve additional funds to the contract amounting to 750,000 because they thought there was no need for that addition because the contractor did not give justifiable results. Furthermore, a project assessment was done by the Director Engineering Office, which showed that the balance of 500 could still complete the remaining works, although the contractor would not agree to the 500 amount. As a result, the contractor abandoned work and management had no choice but to terminate the contract on 31st March 2025. Action taken. Management wishes to state that a new contractor was engaged through simplified bidding on 7th April 2025 at a contract sum of 494,100 to complete all the outstanding works, and the project has since been completed, only awaiting for commissioning. The evidence is on Appendix 7, Chair. The major measures: management to endeavor to complete all approved projects within the single financial year through timely implementation, through timely identification and implementation of projects. The next query, Chair, is delayed construction of a rural health post at Hachiwoz. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the Auditor's General observation and wishes to report that Hachiwoz rural health post, that is in Mutuba ward, was delayed due to additional time requested by the end user, that is Ministry of Health, because the request was about the aligning the internal partitions during the project implementation phase. Action taken, Chair. The project has since been completed at a total sum of 1,270,000 kwacha, and it has been handed over. Evidence is on Appendix 8. Remedial measures: management to ensure to complete all the approved projects within a single financial year. The next query, Chair, is delayed construction of a semi-detached staff house at Anawochi Community School. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the Auditor's General's findings regarding delayed construction of a semi-detached staff house at Anawochi Community School, that is in Munyama ward. The contractor failed to finish the project within the time frame due to several challenges beyond the capacity of the contractor, because the easy access to site is through the use of water transport. Therefore, the contract was terminated by the Procurement Committee on 31st March 2025. Action taken. The project has since been completed to the tune of 730,373 kwacha, and it is awaiting for handover. Evidence on Appendix 9. The major measures: management to ensure to complete all projects within its economic financial year in order to avoid incomplete projects to spill over to the following year. The next query, Chair: implementation of an approved project, that is on water excavation. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings on the implementation of an approved water excavation project in Bakasa, Manchawa Inland, Kawila, Namomba, Nabutezi, Changa, Kamimbi, and Siamamba wards without ministerial approval. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the projects were approved by the CDF committee to be considered under the 2023 funding. The areas were highly affected by drought, resulting into an emergency action in procuring, delivering, and installation of water excavation system for 8 sites. The evidence is on Appendix 10. The major measures: management is committed to adhering to all established procedures and CDF guidelines before undertaking any projects. Next query, Chair: is on late submission of skills development bursaries application for approval. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that this was a result of a rejection of the majority of applicants who wanted to go for driving by the CDF committee, and the list was needed for resubmission. The committee recommended that the applicant should consider pursuing other TVETA craft courses other than driving courses. Action taken: management wishes to state that the approval was obtained from the provincial local government officer, and more than 800 learners were sent to various vocational training institutions using the 2023 CDF allocation. The evidence is on Appendix 11. The major measures: management will endeavor to comply with CDF guidelines and ensure timely identification and submission of applicants to the provincial local government officer for approval. Another query is on management of youth and women empowerment. Also, this one is on late submission of empowerment grants application for approval. Cause of the query: Chair, management acknowledges Auditor General's findings regarding the late submission of empowerment grants application for approval. This was caused due to the inadequate documentation by the applicants. Therefore, the applicants were delayed to ensure that they are issued with certificates by relevant authorities. Action taken: management wishes to state that the approval was obtained from the provincial local government officer, and 71 beneficiaries were recommended and approved under the 2023 CDF allocation. Evidence is on Appendix 12. The major measures: management to endeavor to comply with CDF guidelines and ensure timely identification and submission of applicants to the provincial local government officer for approval. The next one is on failure to implement empowerment projects. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the cause of failure to implement approved project was because of change of project by the two clubs, namely Mulunda Women's Club and Tuatarika Women's Cooperative. Action taken: management wishes to report that the two clubs wrote to the local authority seeking authority to approve the change of projects. The CDF committee approved the change of projects, and the projects have since been implemented. The evidence is on Appendix 13. The major measures: management will endeavor to ensure that all the cooperatives, groups or clubs implement approved projects and in line with CDF guidelines. The next query is on irregular use of empowerment funds. Cause of the query: Chair, management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding on the irregular use of empowerment funds by two women group through the sharing of the grants they received. Action taken: management wishes to state that the two groups wrote to the local authority explaining what transpired. However, Chair, the two groups have been guided to refund the money to the club and implement the approved projects. In addition, the two projects have since been implemented. The evidence is on Appendix 14. The major measures: management will endeavor to ensure that all the cooperatives, groups, and clubs implement approved projects and in line with CDF guidelines. The next query is on management of soft loans. The first one is on late submission of empowerment loans application for approval. Cause of the query: under management response, Management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding regarding the late submission of empowerment loans for approval, and this was caused by deferment of the meeting because most applicants did not attach the supporting documents. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the local authority managed to submit the recommended applicants for approval to the Minister, and the empowerment loans were given out to the beneficiaries as at 31st October 2023. The evidence is on Appendix 15. The major measures. Management will endeavor to comply with CDF guidelines and ensure timely identification and submission of recommended applicants to the provincial local government officer for approval. Failure to implement projects. That's the next query. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding regarding the delayed implementation of projects by Mutuna Carpentry and Joinery and SIAVONGA Enterprise, respective. The delay were attributed to as follows. Mutuna Carpentry and Joinery was waiting the delivery of carpentry equipment and the timber. Both were procured outside the district. Then SIAVONGA Enterprise engaged in shop renovations before restocking with the goods at the time of audit. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the two beneficiaries were engaged and have since implemented the projects. Mutuna Carpentry has so far repaid 10,500, whereas SIAVONGA Enterprise has been reprimanded on the need to start making repayments. The evidence is on Appendix 16, Chair. The major measures. Management will endeavor to ensure that projects are timely implemented in line with CDF guidelines and policies. The next query, Chair, on administrative expenses, that is inadequate supported payments. The cause of a query, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge the Auditor General's finding and wish to state that the 5 payment vouchers amounting to 449,000 could not be supported with purchase requisition, goods received note, and receipts at the time of audit. Action taken. Management wishes to report that supporting documents have been attached to all the 5 payment vouchers. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that Delegation number 46, subsection 1 and 2 of the Public Finance Management Regulation of 2020 are considered when undertaking any procurement. The next query is on unaccounted for stores. Cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations of the Auditor General on the unaccounted for stores for the 2 payment vouchers to the tune of 232,686.25 ingwe, which was caused due to the failure to avail receipts and disposal details at the time of audit. Action taken. Management wishes to report that all necessary supporting documents have since been attached to the 5 payment vouchers. Remedial measures. Management to ensure to follow Financial Regulation 145 whenever it is undertaking any procurement and management of stores. I move on now to cross-cutting, Chair. Under cross-cutting, that is on page number 21, that is budget, funding, and expenditure. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the retained funds are for the insurance of 2 CDF vehicles amounting to 115,681, and a further 936,751 meant for the construction of Chief's Palace. Action taken. Management is monitoring the construction of Chief's Palace, and the palace currently it is at 50%. The evidence is on Appendix 18. Remedial measures. Management will continue to monitor the construction of Chief's Palace and update the ministry on the status of the projects. On Appendix 1.1, that is retained for Chief's Palaces. Cause of the query. Management wishes to report that the construction of the Chief's Palace is being implemented centrally by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, and funds have been...
Yeah, that one I think you can skip it since it seems it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go to Appendix 2, that is on page 23, the total unspent funds. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the unspent funds as at 31st December 2023 amounting to 13.2 million. This was due to the late receipt of CDF ongoing projects and the rejection of the majority of applicants under skills development who wanted to go for driving courses. Action taken. Management managed to spend a total of 12,739,937.15 Ingwe. See Appendix 20 for evidence, Chair. Remedial measures. Management remains committed to ensure that funds are utilized within a single financial year without any further delays. Appendix 2.1, unspent funds under community projects. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the unspent funds was due to late receipt of CDF and ongoing projects. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the balance of 8,039,336 on committed funds was committed funds under the community projects, and it was spent in 2024 with a balance of 769,248.92, which was retained for projects which have got defect liability period. See Appendix 21 for evidence, Chair. Remedial measures. Management remains committed to ensure that funds are spent within a single financial year without any delays. Appendix 2.2.
CS 2.2 and 2.3, they have been resolved.
Okay.
So we can skip those.
So I'll go to Appendix 2.5 and spent funds under administrative costs. The cause of the query, that is on page 27. Management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to report that the balance of 19,000 remained unspent as at 31st December 2023 because of ongoing projects. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the unspent funds have since been spent on monitoring. See Appendix 24. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to ensure that funds are spent within the financial year and in line with the budget. I'll go to Appendix 4, 2023 Community Projects. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the unspent funds was due to late receipt of the CDF and as well as ongoing projects. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the council has completed 26 projects and the remaining 3 are still in progress and have been which were centrally procured. On status, for the table we have highlighted completed project 26 and they have been commissioned. Then work in progress, that is those projects approved centrally. We have ambulance, Chief's Palace, as well as rear projects. The evidence is on Appendix 25, Chair. The major measures, management will endeavor to ensure that all approved projects are implemented within the financial year without delay. On Appendix 5, that is analysis of performance for youth, women, and community grants. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the over-expenditure on empowerment grant was due to the 2022 payments, which was based on approved list. Then the 2023 payments were paid according to the budget allocation. Action taken, management wishes to report that 2023 payments were paid according to the approved budget. See Appendix 26 for evidence. The major measures, management to continue to pay according to the approved budget. Appendix 6, change of projects without approval. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the observations of the Auditor General on 5 cooperatives who changed projects without approval, citing the following reasons. 3 clubs, namely Balenge Youth Club, Kuriabukede Youth Club, Wooden Horse Youth Club, Mayanda Women's Youth Club, and the Handing Women's Youth Club, opted for goat rearing to village banking and gardening due to hesitance in making repayments and growing the village fund. 1 youth club, namely Wooden Horse Youth Club, opted for carpentry because the club wanted to utilize the skills which some of their members had in carpentry. Action taken, management wishes to report that a request to change the project by 5 clubs was reported to the CDF committee for approval and it was since approved. Evidence is on Appendix 27. The major measures, management to endeavor to ensure strict monitoring and supervision of grants are beneficiary to ensure that approved projects are implemented. On Appendix 8, performance analysis on soft loans. Cause of the query, management wishes to state that the 2023 payment had loan recoveries and the amount of 179,864 were funds from the recoveries, as we have tabulated on the table below. Action taken, the balance of 52,565 was added to the 2024 funding. The evidence is on Appendix 28. The major measures, management to endeavor to ensure that funds are spent within a single financial year and in line with budget allocations. Appendix 9, that is failure to recover loans. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to report that the failure to recover loans was due to non-compliance by most of the loan beneficiaries under revolving loan funds, which has been as outlined in terms and conditions of the loan agreement with Zanaco Bank. Action taken, management wishes to report that the local authority lodged to remind all the loan beneficiaries to start repaying back the loans, and as at 30th April 2025, a tune of 323,345 was repaid to the revolving fund by the loan beneficiaries. See Appendix 29 for evidence. The major measures, management will continue to collaborate with Zanaco Bank by engaging the loan beneficiaries to ensure that the loans are repaid. On Appendix 10, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the difference in the number of sponsored beneficiaries and graduates, it is because students are still in school and some courses are more than 1 year. Action taken, management wishes to report that it has reconciled the number of sponsored beneficiaries as well as the number of graduates, which we have indicated on the table highlighted below. See Appendix 29 for evidence. Chair, the major measures, management to endeavor to ensure that funds are spent within a financial year. In addition, management will continue to undertake due diligence before payments are made for skills development and secondary schools. Appendix number 11, that is beneficiary of secondary boarding and skills development. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding and wishes to report that the payments were based on invoice from the schools. Action taken, management contacted the 29 students in order to understand the reason as to why they decided to drop out from school. Further, management through CDF committee and through the PROGOs approved the funding for meal allowance for sponsored students under skills in 2024 in order to support with monies for their personal requisite which was needed for them at school. This action made the 29 cited students to reconsider reporting back to schools as this was the reason for dropping out from school and their parents could not manage providing money for food for the learners. See Appendix 30 for evidence here. The major measure, management to continue to closely monitor the students being sponsored under CDF in order to achieve the government's objectives for offering skills to the youth. Appendix 13, it is on analysis of performance for the desk. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor General's findings on 155 undelivered school desks, which was due to the suppliers facing challenges to source for materials. Action taken, management wishes to report that the supplier has since delivered all 155 desks, which have since been distributed to intended schools. The evidence is on Appendix 31, Chair. The major measures, Chair, management to endeavor to engage reputable companies that will be able to deliver projects without delays. Appendix 17, misappropriation of grants. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding on the misappropriated funds for the 3 cooperatives amounting to 83,000 that was due to disagreements by the members of the cooperatives during the implementation of the project. Action taken, management wrote to the 3 cooperative members requesting them to pay back the funds and implement the approved projects. The 3 cooperatives have since implemented the approved project and they are also depositing funds in the cooperatives accounts. See the appendix for evidence. The major measures are management to endeavor to continue monitoring and supervising the grants beneficiaries to ensure that approved projects are implemented. That comes to the end of my report. Therefore, Chair, I respectfully submit the report for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary. for that wonderful presentation. Honorable members, it's now time for clarifications. I'll start with the Honorable Member for Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, this report is not a good report at all. That we must state. I think we are not pleased to interrogate this kind of a report. Maybe before we go any further, may I guide you, Chair, together with the CS and the entire committee, to page 19 before we look at other things.
Okay, let's go to page 19.
Chair, this is the administrative expenses. The council chair made payments, various payments, of 449,305 kwacha without any supporting documents. I would like to find out, first of all, maybe how these payments were done without any supporting documents. One. And two, what gave the council the energy to go against the Public Finance Act, which regulates everyone, Chair, in this country? What gave them the energy to make payments without following the law? And thirdly, Chair, payments were made, no documentations. Today they come before your committee, they say, now documents are here, you committee don't worry, we have now provided the documents. That casually. Where were the documents that time around when auditors were there? Auditors were there, Chair, in the SIAVONGA Town Council. Not a day, not a week, but more than 2 weeks. Even after the documents were retrieved or they were found, wherever they kept them, which I truly believe were not even there at that particular time. I have asked where were the documents, but even when they were found, when they have brought them, like, why didn't they take them to auditors for verification? Instead, they decided to bring them to your committee, Chair.
Your point?
Yes, point, Chair. I've asked a series of questions here, which SIAVONGA Town Council has really to respond seriously, on a very serious note, Chair, because we cannot be allowing such kind of payments. Auditor is there, Chair.
Honorable Mane, you have put up your point. Let us get them to respond. Let's get them to respond, then you come up with follow-ups. Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chairperson. We have taken note of the questions. I'll ask my Director of Finance to come in for the response, Chair.
Jeff.
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, the payments in question are related to the implementation of the water legislation project. We indeed agree the payments were made without the supporting documents, and Chair, this was necessitated by the urgency of the entire project because we experienced, Chair, a drought, and management implemented this project urgently, Chair.
What was the urgency? What was how do you justify the making payments without attachments? Director of Finance, Leonard, Director of Finance. Where do you start from? Yes, DF. We want to learn.
Chair, unfortunately, the payments were done, Chair, based on the invoices which were given to us without the other documentation, Chair.
What were the other documentations that you wanted to attach?
Chair, the other documents which we needed to attach is the request from Director of Engineering, as well as the delivery notes for the materials which were procured. Then from there, Chair, the inspection report from Director Engineering before we could effect the payments.
First, we want to start from the source documents. There must be a requisition. How did it come to your office to pay if this was engineering related? Were you the originator as the Director of Finance? Who? We want to understand what articulation falls under which department?
Chair, it falls under the Department of Engineering.
So what happened? You are just walking in the corridors. Can you make a payment of 5,000? What is supposed to be the case? Council Secretary, what is the procedure?
Thank you, Chairperson. The procedure starts with the identification of the need, which will be done through a request by Director Engineering. Then other processes will follow based on the, by considering the parameters of the CS. For example, if the payment will go beyond the 250, meaning that the procurement committee have to be engaged. Yes.
Do we have internal auditor here? Internal auditor, how did you pass a payment without a memo? Because there was a drought and that ignited everything. That is a drought, we need to move in quickly. So how? Where was the Director of Engineering? Was he in Livingstone or in Chazef? Was he also in SIAVONGA? DF, I want to address you. Was the Director Engineering not in SIAVONGA? Or he was away in another council? Or maybe working from another? I want to read for you. You see how serious this matter is. Honorable Mwene, thank you very much for that. It says, management once wishes to acknowledge Auditor General's findings and wishes to state that the 5 payments vouchers made amounting to 449,305 kwacha 32 ngwe, 500,000 in the odd currency, 500 million. You just direct the bank or you cut checks, whatever, without source documents. No memo to indicate you are paying for which project. The Director Engineering is supposed to do. Say, can you release payments so much for this water scheme? Director of Finance, can you appraise this committee and the nation and the people of SIAVONGA how you paid 449,000 without any attachments? And I want to appeal to the auditor to be on hand to respond how she passed these payments without supportive documents. DF.
Chair, as mentioned, Chair, these payments were done based on the invoices which were shared to our office, and because of the agents of the entire procurement, Chair, we did as directed, Chair.
Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much. This is Chair. Very unfortunate. We cannot have councils make payments in such a manner. No matter how urgent an issue is, the proper channel must be followed. This involves finances. It doesn't involve something that is not valuable. It involves finances that are so valuable to the state. So, no matter how urgent an issue is, you cannot give that as a reason to motivate you to go against the law. A learned DF like yourself. No, that is not true. There should just be something that motivated you to make these payments. And that is what we are looking for. What is it that motivated you to make these payments against the law? That is a question to you. And the auditor, Auditor, you haven't yet answered the question. Chair, can you give her time to answer your question?
Let me guide the meeting. Don't direct. Let me direct myself. You are putting, you are coming up with very good points. You leave it there, then we get responses. DF, I want us, as you prepare to respond, let's go to Appendix 17. These documents from SARO, are they invoices or they are receipts? DF?
Chair, the attached documents are receipts, Chair.
Show us the invoices. Jeff, may we see the invoices that you have been laboring to directors?
Chair, the invoices are not attached to.
You are telling, we conferred Cap 12 on you. You are giving us information that is not verifiable. Why are you doing that, Director of Finance? You told us that you based your payments on invoices. Now we go to Appendix 17. CS, I hope you are moving with us. And the auditor, I hope you are moving with us. And I want you to tell us, the first invoice was for what? What are the details that you are paying for? The items that you are paying for, according to this invoice. Invoice amounting to 115,375.25 was for what, according to this document, the receipt?
Chair, the suppliers, the SALO, did not detail out the materials which we procured. They just lumped the amount 215,000. However, Chair, documentation, Chair, on this procurement is fragmented. We do not have a lot of details on this procurement, Chair.
Was that ethical of you or professional of you to make payments without invoices, without memos, and also receipts that cannot be authenticated as for which items you are paying for? Honorable Singombe.
Chair, thank you very much. Though you have preempted my concern. However, Chair, as you have indicated that, how do we believe? Because these receipts, Chairman, do not explain anything. Was the payment done to save someone's life, where you could not follow the laid down procedures, and if that was not done, the local authority was going to lose a life at that particular time?
That's a good one. Number two, where are the payment vouchers? Earlier on you indicated about you having paid based on the invoices. Now we just see a payment. What life were you saving? Because you also indicated that there was an emergency. So show us what life you are saving out of this emergency that prompted you to raise these amounts of money, 449,000.
in total without unsupported documents. Chair, thank you.
Just to correct you, Honorable Singombe, what they have shown us are not payments, they are receipts. Director of Finance, this is a serious matter. Thank you, Honorable Mangango and Singombe, for these observations. 449,000 kwacha being paid without following procedures, and you cannot show us as to what. May we hear from the internal auditor, our professional gatekeeper, safeguarding the resources of SIAVONGA. Madam Internal Auditor, you approved these payments?
Thank you, Chair.
Put the mic closer to you, you can put it down, yes.
Thank you, Chair. We, as internal audit, we acknowledge the lot that...
No. Did you approve this?
It passed through audit, but I did not sign on the payment. But
Were you there?
I think I was out of the station.
Don't think. These payments were not done in a day. Were done in a day? If so, where were you as internal audit? Council Secretary, these are serious matters. These monies given for us to develop or to change the face, transform SIAVONGA, are not money that you can play with. We want to hear from the internal audit. What role did you play? Did you approve these payments? Yes or no?
No, Chair, because I didn't have the required documentation.
They didn't come through your office?
They did, but I didn't sign.
Who signed? Internal auditor. This is a serious committee. Yes. The nation is watching. We want to see how you are accounting for these resources. Who signed for these payments?
It was my assistant.
Speak up. We cannot get you.
It was my assistant, Chair.
Is the assistant here?
No, Chair.
No, Chair. She's not here.
Honorable Singombe.
So, now, internal auditor, if your assistant signed, don't you think impliedly you also signed? Is there anything that you can show the committee that you did not approve? Is there anything that you can show the committee that, because if you did not approve, then how come the assistant signed, and are there any sanctions that you meted against her for having done something against your will?
Besides, there is pre-audit and post-audit. If at pre-audit you were absent, were you also absent at post-audit? What were your comments if you are present?
No, Chair, but the problem is that the damage had already been done.
What?
I'm saying the damage, it had already passed through our office.
Even the post-audit you didn't do?
We did, but the payment had already been done.
What were your comments? What did you suspect when you saw this? In a local authority, 449,000 taken, made payments deliberately to elude the normal procedure and get money to be paid without even these attachments from SARO. What were they paying for? On a receipt, the items that you are buying, they indicate. I go to a shop, I want to buy mineral water, this one. They will indicate on a receipt, 1 bottle of mineral water at 10 kwacha. But here they just indicate 10 kwacha, and it's a receipt without indicating what is it that you bought at 115,000 kwacha. We want to know your office at post-audit. Pre-audit, yes, you were out, your assistant signed, sanctioned this. Now at post-audit, were you not moved, and if you so, what was your comment?
Chair, I needed all the documentation to be put in place.
And you didn't see them?
At that time, no.
Did you indicate to your superior? You report direct to the council secretary. You switch off your mic when you report. Internal audit the report direct to the council secretary for obvious reasons, to sustain or to promote your independence. You don't report to the director of finance who did these financial flows, and you could have said to the council secretary, these payments worth 449,000 kwacha, I was not present, this is my comment. Did you report to the council secretary?
No, Chair.
One last one on the same, then Honorable Singman.
Yeah, Chair.
Mangango.
Yeah, for me, I'm unable to see what services the local authority paid for. Now, I wanted to know, were these services that you paid for SARO advertised or were you single sourced? Because, Chairman, I'm getting worried. In this document, you also discover, it's like the local authority is hiding something. How do you go even to get pictures at night? I see a number of pictures that they have attached, Chair, in your document. They were gotten at night. So it's like there is something that the local authority is trying to hide from this committee. And Chair, I wonder whether we can proceed in this manner where things are just in disarray with the SIAVONGA local authority.
Yeah, to share your concern, I just want to read. I just read one receipt which had no details of items bought from SARO Engineering. SARO Engineering is a very organized company. Very organized company. Many local authorities and other companies are dealing with SARO. But you went to pay SARO without indicating the items that you are paying 115,378.25. The other one, 117,308.49. The other one again, 115,378.45. The other, the 117 again 115. All of them totaling to 449,000 kwacha. Without itemizing the things that you are buying. What came to you, Director of Finance, when you saw this? That you are paying for something that is not indicated on the receipts, and you take them as authentic receipts. You couldn't go back to SARO to say, please indicate the items that were bought. If it is a submersible pump, and if it is any electricals that you bought, anything. You couldn't get anything, you just get a receipt. It's strange, Director of Finance. This is a serious financial irregularity, and it can demand for you to face the jail. Not only to be promoted the way it happens, but for you to face, all of you were involved. Can you tell us this?
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, like I mentioned, this transaction, Chair, we did not follow a lot of procedures, and this whole procurement, Chair, is with the investigative wings. As we speak, it is with the SEC and Chair, that is.
Should have told us, because even us, we can see that you need to be investigated. You need to be, all those who are involved in these transactions, is particular. You cannot play around 449,000 kwacha. Just from the glimpse of it, just looking at it, as members of Parliament, you can see that this demands a serious investigation. Our comment on this one is that may the investigating offices or institutions do their thorough job. Go deeper, whoever was involved. Because we cannot allow this culture to be taking place in councils. How many people during the drought, how many people were affected and maybe could have lost lives, or they had contracted diseases because of lack of water and the other services? So we cannot allow this. Our position is very straight, and we are going to make it strong in our report that whoever is involved, and we shall confirm whether these investigations are taking place. If not, they should be if the Council Secretary, you are new there.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson.
We would be very happy if these investigations are taking place. If they have stalled, our appeal is that the SCC, DEC, and everyone get deeper to it. Whoever, not one individual, whoever, even if it's audit, they passed these payments, they should be followed. Whoever was involved in these transactions, because this is alarming. People have lost fear for public resources. What is happening to you officers? And when we go deeper into this, we are concerned Zambians. And we believe in the president that wants to change the lives of the people of this country by giving resources to us. Then you meet as an association or as council secretaries, you start reporting this committee is tough when you are taking this money away from the poor people of SIAVONGA. Whether you talk, we are not going to stop. We are very sober Zambians who will not tolerate wrong things. So you be in your circles, talk about this committee. This is anarchy. You should even be feeling ashamed when you start discussing, defending wrong things you're doing. Council Secretary, 449,000 kwacha for items that are not known, and the hiding, you're taking night pictures. So I want to thank you, honorable members. You are doing great, and I want to, I think Madam Speaker should be very happy. The committee is doing very well. We're exposing these things, and we are going to expose you. And we shall ensure that even when the commission comes, we are going to ensure. If they left out anyone, when the commission they come, we shall make a recommendation, because this cannot be. Whoever was involved, if was left out, is still there in SIAVONGA or wherever they have gone, we shall make a serious recommendation. And you see, posterity to judge us. There is need to bring sanity to local government. People have lost fear. This is very touching. Very touching, this transaction. And if you had SARO, there are officers who were involved in this, the report, the investigation should even go, because if the SARO company can start colluding with councils to come up with receipts without itemizing what they are paying for, that is strange. Because it takes two to tango. There must be someone there who is printing these fake receipts from SARO Engineering. Allow on this one, a short one.
A very short one, Chair. Even when you look at these receipts, Chair, they are dated the 6th of meaning they got them, I think, on Friday, just before they were coming.
6th of what?
Of June. That's when they were printed. It is the receipts. Meaning they got them just before they came here. To them, it was not even necessary to have the documentations in place, as long as the payments were done. Now, as you have stated, Chair, without repeating on your words.
Today is what?
Today is 9th, Chair.
When we were just finishing our local tour,
yes,
on the 6th.
On Friday. That's
when we went to SARO.
On these receipts without details. And then, Chair, as you have put it, it's true. We'll be making sure that and following up, we do the right thing, and these people should just, such people should just be being arrested, because these are the monies that are needed by the poor people. They should just be being arrested. By the time someone comes out of prison, you find that your wife has got even children with other.
No. That is
See? Which is not
that is
okay.
not in order, Honorable Member. Can you retract that one?
Chair, I retract.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
that. Is the emotions, Council Secretary, you cannot allow such monies.
Well noted.
So we take interest. Internal auditors, external auditors, take interest. Be close to SCC and DEC. Whoever, Director Engineering, if you are not there, you are whispering in the corridor instead of making a memo, you had failed the council. Director Finance, you are a main culprit. Internal Auditor, you are a main culprit in this matter. Whoever was involved, procurement. Do we have procurement officer here? Yes, you are the one who went to procure Saro. What is your comment on this one?
Thank you, Chair.
Your mic should be closer to you.
Thank you, Chair. We acknowledge the query, but I did not see the memo, Chair.
You are a new person?
Yes, Chair.
When did you go to?
January this year.
Oh, you are excused.
Thank you, Chair.
But the one who was there at the procurement, wherever that person is, all of them should be brought to book so that we can make sure that those who have the audacity to be doing wrong things are dealt with, so that it deters those who do want to have a temptation. Thank you. Dr. Mwanza, another question?
Thank you, Chair. Page 1.
Let's go to page 1.
I'll just talk about I'll just sample concerning careless payments, how council is overpaying and also, okay. So there are 3 projects here that delayed. This is the over expenditure on 3 votes, but the interest is on a vote for the secondary school, where, because the explanation is that on page 1, management acknowledges audit findings which to state that over expenditure of 184,637 in disaster component was attributed to an interim payment of 376 made to Swasco Limited. Whilst, because on the table 5, you can see the last row, the last column, the amount that was over expenditure. So my question is on this expenditure, where did the council get extra funding to overpay by
76,000.
Yes, exactly.
143 kwacha.
Yes.
6 tengwe. Short one. CS. Where did you get the money?
Thank you, Chair. The
Dr.
question
Mwanza,
is
your mic?
noted. The question is noted. The money, Chair, was gotten from the balances which were in the account, but for further clarification, my Director of Finance will come in.
Director of Finance.
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, the over expenditure on Swasco, this was made because of the urgent, like we have stated, Chair, we wanted to put up a hotel education system. So when we paid the last payment to Swasco, the funds were exhausted, hence the overpayments of 184. However, Chair, maybe let me explain the other components. For the loans, Chair, these were the funds recovered from the loans we issued in 2022.
No, we wanted you to respond to the question. The question is, why did you overpay Swasco?
Chair, the the actual payment which was made was more than the allocation, but because of the nature of the project, we had to seek authority from the CDF committee, which allowed that we make payment.
Before or after?
Chair, it was approved in principle, then we took it for ratification.
Where is the minute?
Chair, we can look at the addendum. That's where the minutes are.
Page, addendum number. Appendix what?
Appendix number 1 on the addendum.
Okay. May 2025. This is the date of the extract. It was reported that during the period under review, the council overspent an amount totaling. So, you had already overspent. You were reporting that you were reporting to the CDF committee that you had overspent by 395. Am I reading? Can you read the minute, Treasurer, so that we are not accusing you? Read the report for the approval of varied funds.
Chair, it was further reported that the over expenditure was because of the urgent need for the installation of water recirculation at SIAVONGA under the disaster contingents, while the over expenditure on loans was because...
Page 1 of Appendix 1. After membership there.
It was reported that during the period under review, the council overspent by amounts totaling 393,761 on disaster contingents, empowerment grants and soft loans.
Can you end there? What does it mean, this statement?
We overspent, Chair.
Before approval?
Yes, Chair.
Dr. Mwanza, before Honorable Swampi.
Even the reasons for expenditure are contradictory. On page 1, you are talking of because this was because of this interim certificate to be paid to SWASCO and the nature of the project that needed the urgent attention. Then when we go to, when you reported to the CDFC committee on Appendix 1, you are saying that you had to get funds from the disaster component because of the blowing of roofs.
Can you read that part? On page 1,
sorry, Chairperson. The appendix is on the addendum. The one which is on the main document, we have replaced it. Yes.
Oh, it's this one.
Yes. So maybe to clarify to help my DF, the reason which caused the over expenditure was a result of the quotation which was issued by SWASCO. The quotation which was issued was 370 something.
It's very strange. Yes. You were making payment to SWASCO before quotation. Okay. Yeah, because you are saying that the reasons was because of the quotation. The quotation came later. That's why you had to go to disaster.
Okay.
If you were paying according to quotation, you wouldn't have overspent. You wouldn't have gone to CDF committee to seek for more funds.
Maybe I clarify. The balance which was on the allocation for CDF was not enough compared to the quotation which was issued by SWASCO. And because of the need, the council went ahead to pay the 376. That's what prompted the council to take the matter to the CDF for approval.
You were going to... Honorable Singombe.
Chair, when you look at the extract copy, this was minutes of meeting of the SIAVONGA Constituency Development Fund Committee held on 5th of May 2025. I'm wondering as to why did the council take this long? Why just in May? This is an odd issue. Why did you decide to seek for authority now instead of then, Chair?
CS, the minute is dated 20 May 2025 May.
Yes.
What is the explanation?
The explanation, Chair, when I was taken to SIAVONGA, the first thing I did was to do the situation analysis so that I know where the council stands. And when I discovered that there was an omission on this one, I prompted, or I mentioned to the DF that we need to take the matter to the CDF for approval.
What omission did you see? Did you find?
Because the expenditure was made without the approval of CDF.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. And that is the point. You have nailed it.
On the same Appendix 1, the disaster ledger. The disaster ledger where you paid SWASCO 376,143 is Appendix 1.
Appendix 1 on the main document.
Yes, Appendix 1, I think just the second page. They have tabulated how they used the disaster component of the CDF. So there's an item on row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 8, which is on 21st April 2023. 21st April 2023, the first column, just check the date.
Just
because there are no numbers, there are no serial numbers. Are you on the ledger?
Yes.
Yes.
On the first page of the ledger.
Yes.
There is the 1st January 2023.
Yes.
Then again 1st January 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm talking about
no. Yeah. Now which one is 20? Oh, 21st April.
21st April, the payment made to SGC Investments Limited. The description is that it's payment for fuel for the team to carry out an assessment of water crisis at Machawa in Mchanga inland. This is the disaster funds. You're going to do...
And the amount is what?
Is 1,000, I think, something.
1,446.
Yes.
DF, how do you explain this?
How do you explain that a disaster fund would be used for assessment of needs assessment for water supply? Why not administration cost? Then first, there's a double payment on the first 2 rows. Procurement, which is on the 2nd January 2023, SDC District Fund account. Procurement of 5 coffins for people struck by lightning, 6,100. Then again, payment for procurement of 5 coffins for 5 people who were struck by lightning. Are we talking of people from
different wards?
So that they are total they are 10, or it is. I mean, we just need this clarification.
DF, how many people? Council Secretary, how many people were affected by lightning?
My director engineering will come in to clarify, Chair.
Director engineering?
Considering the ledger, it is talking about 5 coffins, which translates to 5 people. According to what has been tabulated on the ledger, the payment for procurement of 5 coffins for 5 people was struck by lightning.
Amount?
Amounts to 7,750.
Then another one on top, the 6,100. How do you explain it and how do you read? Can you read for us, I mean?
Okay, again, this one is only procurement of 5 coffins for people struck by lightning.
So, what are you telling us? How many people were struck by lightning? When you read the two?
There are only 5. Maybe the DF would come in. Should be misposting of transactions.
How do you mispost different figures? Director of Finance.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the fuel which we paid was part of...
coffins, Baba.
Okay. For the coffins, we paid for the 5 people were struck. And then the other payment, Chair, it was for other logistics away from the... Yes, from the...
Read. Want you to read. The first one for 6,100. Can you read the date?
First one, Chair, it's the procurement of 5 coffins for people struck by the lightning. Then the other one, Chair, it's the fashion logistics. Then
read.
The details,
we want you to read.
It's the payment for the 5 coffins for people who were struck by lightning in the debris.
So what are you telling us? You want to change? We are not joking, Council Secretary. We are reading what you have written here. What have you written, CS? How many people were struck by lightning? According to this report. And how many coffins?
According to the analysis report, Chair, there are 5 coffins to translate to 5 people.
I think we have a problem. You are just reading 2 items. One, 6,000.
The other one...
Don't take this committee for a joke. We are sitting here. We are not joking. If this is what you are doing with resources in SIAVONGA, even you can be in problems. You are defending things that you are reading on your own. The people of Zambia, the people of SIAVONGA want to know how many coffins are here. There are 10. You want to say we are accusing you. I want to read. And I want you to repeat what I will read. Then you add. Let me read. The first one is on 2nd January 2023. No. The first one is 2nd January 2023. Yes? Same date. Payment reference number 2709. Are you getting?
Getting.
Procurement of 5 coffins for people struck by lightning. Total 6,100. How many coffins have I read?
5 coffins.
Can you write down so that you add? The second payment, reference number 2692, same date. Payment for procurement of 5 coffins. Are you getting 5 there?
Yes, yes.
For 5 people who were struck by lightning in Dibwe. 5 plus 5 is how much? Can you answer? The people want to hear you.
5 plus 5, Chair, is 10. But according to what I'm getting from Director Engineering, just to make more clarity, not to offend the committee, Chair, the first procurement was meant for the coffins, according to what I'm being told. Then the second procurement was meant for logistics for the 5 who were struck by lightning. So the narration is what is misleading, Chair.
So this committee should follow your verbal submission or what is written.
The committee should follow what is written.
Your mic should be on.
Your committee should follow what is written, Chair, but
don't say but.
I can say the ledger is comprising of lot of.
Are we the one who prepared this ledger?
It is ourselves through Director Finance.
So want to pass the blame on us? That what we are seeing there are 10 coffins?
Apollo's Chair, the information is not accurate. Even me, who's not in finance, I can see that there was a mix-up. One payment is supposed to be for logistics, then the other one for the coffin.
So you take it, these members don't read. We're going to take whatever, pick any document from the streets, attach it to write anything. These people who admit it. Dr. Mwanza, your mic, Doctor.
The CS and this DF, they are trying to defend the error by trying to say that the other money, the other amount, 7,750, was meant for logistics.
Yeah.
Maybe transport, fuel, and that kind. But how do they explain also the payment on 25th of February, which is fuel used during funeral arrangement for 5 people killed by lightning and the sensitization program, 18,000 kwacha.
Is it not 15? Is it 15,028?
Yeah, it's very clear that logistics for during the procession of the 5 people that died.
So you see, what you can pick, honorable members, these people, there is a field day in SIAVONGA, playing around with money, getting money, and not following procedure. That's what they're trying to do. We have taken SIAVONGA to be a point where, and we are wondering, SIAVONGA has had so many scandals. What is the problem with SIAVONGA? That you can go there, do whatever you want to do. 15,000 kwacha for logistics. Again, you want to say 7,000 kwacha. So whoever dreams, you can sit in management, make a payment. What are we going to say? It should be for this, towards innocent people who unfortunately lost their lives. You are making money out of their the misfortune. This is what this report tells us. Now, coming to SWASCO, before we go down into this, the issue of SWASCO, you made payments 390 something thousand kwacha without CDF committee's approval. What type of money? Director of Finance, are you the one who was there?
Chair, yes, I'm the one who was.
And you are the one who did this?
Yes, Chair.
Why didn't you go to the CDF committee when you realized that the invoice from SWASCO was more than the money that were allocated, so that you get the approval before you make these payments? You only went to CDF committee May, this last month, 2025, and this is 2023 report. Honorable members, how would you account for this? Director. Again, we have an issue with ISARO, which is under the law enforcement agencies, which is with the law enforcement agencies. Again, this SWASCO issue. Internal auditor, what was your role? You are the gatekeeper.
Thank you, Chair. On this one, Chair, I think we just have to apologize. There was a disaster, and There was nothing that we could do.
Failing to just following procedure. There is a disaster. You call the people, the member of parliament, the members of the CDF committee are there in SIAVONGA. You can't call them. You just go ahead, make payments, not even ratifying it within a short period, until when you knew that you were coming to appear before this committee, then you call for a CDF committee to make up for the issue of 2023. So if this committee was not there, this was going to be to end there. No procedure, no courtesy, no following regulations which tells that the CDF committee are supposed to approve. Whether it's disaster, it can happen within a short period of time. You have to sit and ratify. And the auditors were not going to pick it, because if you had done it within the 2023 period, by the time auditors were coming, already you'd have. But in SIAVONGA, you can deal with everything. Is disaster. Yes, disasters are there. But how do you explain? And huge sums of money. And you're dealing with companies. May we see the invoice from SWASCO? Show us where the invoice from SWASCO for that overpayment.
My DF will assist me, Chairperson.
DF, so that we close this matter. I'll give you chance. Please help with the DF. Appendix.
Chair, the contract is attached to the payment voucher.
Appendix.
It's under Chair. It's not on the appendices. We just carried it as part of the evidence. So the contract, Chair, is with us here, which was signed with SWASCO.
Do we have it ourselves? You see, as we base all these questions, queries, and follow-ups, and whatever, we base on what we read. So if you keep it to yourselves, how do we know? What was the payment? How much was the payment to SWASCO? Director of Finance.
Thank you, Chair. The payment was 376,143.
Where is it written in the
Chair, also the payment voucher, Chair, is with me.
It's with me here. I'm checking this one. Where is the invoice?
Chair, there are two payments. The one we have attached, as well as the other evidence which we have provided.
The contract. You said this is a contract. It is a request for payment to pay 25% advance claim. 144,670.25 for contract number STC/CDF/WKS/supply 10th July 2023. Where is the contract? From Swasco.
Chair, the contract should be attached to the payment voucher.
Did you see it?
Yes, Chair.
Because what I've seen, I've not seen it. Maybe my friends, they help me.
And then we made 2 payments, the one for...
No, just the contract document. Don't go to the... I'm seeing request for payment of 25%. I've not seen a contract. So there were requests of payments to a contract that we are not privy to. We want to compare what is sitting in the contract. Is that the contract?
Yeah.
Okay. The contract price is the Zambian kwacha bid at the bid sum of 578,681 kwacha, VAT inclusive. You paid 144,000. The balance was what? 300. And this contract was dated, it has no date. It's an extract. An extract of the main contract document. This is not Dr. Manza. Correct?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. Next question. Dr. Manza.
Page 5.
Let's go to page 5.
The delayed completion of construction of an ablution block at Hanunka Primary School. I'll be very quick on this. This ablution block, the contract price was 403,000 kwacha, 71 kwacha, and was paid 95% of the contract sum, leaving only 12,000 kwacha, which is basically 5% of the total contract sum, and the project was delayed extension and abandoned and the contractor abandoned the project. And then on page 6 we are told that CDFC had to approve 40,000 kwacha additional funding to complete this ablution block. And appendix they completed this ablution block by labor-based, using the 40,000 kwacha that was approved by CDFC as additional funding. Now when we go to Appendix 4, Appendix 4 is showing a completion certificate of this project. It is Appendix 3, Appendix 4. Okay, so the certificate of practical completion issued to SIAVONGA Town Council, because you completed the project using force account or labor-based, so to say. Now, the contract sum that is on the certificate of practical completion is 52,303 kwacha, which is 12,303 kwacha above what CDFC approved as provided for on page 6. On page 6, the Constituency Development Fund Committee approved 40,000 kwacha to complete a project, and the certificate of completion, you are saying the contract sum was 52,303 kwacha, which is 12,303 kwacha above the CDFC recommendation. How do you explain this?
Overpayment.
Thank you, Chair. We have noted the question. I would like my Director Engineering to come in for clarifications.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. So on the completion certificate, what is indicating as a contract sum, we did the summation of what remained, the 12,000 plus the 40. That is what we used to complete that project under force account. I submit, Chair.
Dr. Mwanza.
So if we follow your formula,
your mic should be off.
If we follow your formula, it is a similar situation on page 7, which is ablution block at Kariba Secondary School. At Kariba Secondary School, CDFC on page 7 to 27,668,000 kwacha 80 additional funding to complete the works, and the total project cost came to 386,000. So if we go to Appendix 5, the completion certificate, what has changed now from your formula? Because on Appendix 5, you have actually put the same amount that was approved. If you go to Appendix 5, this was also completed by council using labor-based, and the contract sum here is 27,668, which is consistent to what CDFC approved on page 7. And yet this project also had a balance of 63,000. The balance, you can see it on page 6, had a balance of 63,376. Why didn't you add 63,376 plus 27 to put on your completion certificate? If you're saying that the 40,000, the 52,000, we added what CDFC approved plus the balance on the previous contract.
Director of Engineering.
Chair, on this one, I agree with the Honorable. We needed to be very consistent. And this one, Chair, it was an error. We also needed to add 63,376, then plus the 27, Chair.
The learned engineers, why did you make such mistakes? And this is involving resources. Anything to do with false accounts, this is what happens. Are you aware? You do this deliberately, you overspend, and even the workmanship is very poor. Anything to do, any project to be done by the council under false account, 99.9% are failed projects. They succeed. There is always over expenditure or failure to produce financials on the project. And that's why you failed to reconcile this. Never ever do projects under false account. But the temptation is there because you want to procure. You want to get involved with the resources. When you see contractors being paid, you don't feel good. You want also to partake. And this is a resultant. If you want to fail, recommend for false account. But the temptation, meaning that the temptation is always there because you want to get involved not in ensuring that the project is well done, but involved so that you can have the feel of the money also. When you know that you are likely to fail, you don't care, you'd go for false account. Dr. Mwanza, another question?
Last one. This is on page 8.
Let's go to page 8.
These are of similar situations. There are 3 different clinics or rural health posts. One, the delayed completion at the Kalea Clinic, which is on page 8. So this Kalea Clinic was a contract was awarded to Liansha contractor at a contract sum of 750,000 kwacha, completion period of 3 months, from 23rd March 2023, ending 23rd June 2023. The result is that this clinic has been was completed just on 30th of May this year, 2025. That's more than 1 year and 6 months or something like this. But the interesting thing on the financials is that the contract was signed at 750,000 kwacha. And then final completion price for Kalea Clinic is 1,326,773. 576,773,000 kwacha was added to the initial contract price. The initial contract price was 750,000 kwacha, and then they added 576,000 kwacha of reasons. On page 6, they're saying management acknowledges the audited findings and wishes to state that the delay to complete was due to the realignment of partitions for observation room, wards, and toilet location during the project implementation phase, causing an extension to the completion of the project by Minister of Health, who end users through the officer. So, Minister of Health made a comment on the design to demolish certain partitions to suit the functions of the post. So 3 different rural health posts, same design, Kalea Clinic, and the next one is on page 9, Chalokwa Rural Health Post. The last one is on page 10, Hachibozu Rural Health Post. The design is exactly the same, and the contributions by district health to change some partitions is the same. But why did the contract at Kalea attract 600,000 kwacha more above the initial contract, whilst the other 2, that is at Chalokwa, Chalokwa did not attract anything?
Director of Engineering.
And also Hachibozu.
Why Kalea you recommended additional? Dr. Mwanza, your mic?
Yes. Why Kalea additional? Because when I look at the technicals, I've even looked at the drawing which you have submitted here. There is no increase in the scope of work, because the general layout, the general size, the total dimension of the slab remained the same. The only thing they contributed was to demolish certain walls to increase the space for the wards, for the patients to have at least more space. So how can just demolish this wall, put it the other side, and so on, attract 600,000 kwacha, contrary to these other 2 sites? Unless you tell us that the plan or the implementation, the plan that you used at Chalokwa and Hachibozu is different. But from the pictures that
let's get from them,
the pictures that you have provided, everything is exactly the same.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. Why we had those changes, Chair? The first design, Chair, it was 21.6 by 9.6 in square meters. If you look at that clearly, Chair, you would find that some of the things which were added on the other diagram, in terms of the dimensions, it was 27.1 by 11.6.
Which other diagram? There are 3 health posts.
Yes.
For the people to follow us. Hachiboza, Kalea.
Are they the same design or not?
Chair, they are the same design.
Now, the question, if they are the same designs and observations from the Minister of Health are the same, that expand the rooms, why did you ask for addition of over 600,000 kwacha for Kalea? What, without these 2 being considered? What was the money for? Director Engineer.
Thank you, Chair. All the 3 clinics had the similar designs. And the 3 clinics, Chair, we presented them before CDFC for those adjustments here and there, and the same were approved by PROGO's office, Chair.
Same amount?
Different amounts. So on the budget,
let's go one by one. Let's go to Kalea. Kalea, we know 600. Take us to the next one.
So actually was the 200,000 kwacha.
Just hold on. We should move it with everyone here.
Okay.
It's on page G. Let's go to page 9, Chalokwa. Where is the amount additional 500,000? Where is the additional amount? Sir, read for us. Read for us, Director Engineering. The additional amount.
On Charokwa, it's 500,000 kwacha.
Let me read for you. I want you to be reading so that you don't mislead the public. As at 30th August 2024, amounts totaling 770,000 out of the 1.2,070,000, an amount totaling 770,000 had been paid to the contractor, leaving a balance of 500,000. Which other figure are you telling us on Chalokwa that you said was additional? Director Engineering, we are reading your report. Show him page 9, CS. It could be missing page 9. So we want you, Director, to read for us the additional funds that you are saying were given.
Okay, Chair. Chair, the total contract sum, I already explained.
Let me read for you so that you don't. Delayed construction of Chalokwa Rural Health Post. I want you to follow me, Director Engineering. Page 9.
Okay.
On 30th March 2023, the Council engaged Hatemwa Building and Construction Limited to construct Chalokwa Rural Health Post in Nanyanga Ward at a contract price of 1,270,000, from which on 30th August 2024, amounts totaling 770,000 had been paid to the contractor, leaving a balance of 500,000 kwacha. So which figure we want to hear from you? You said there were additional funds. Where are they? Director Engineering. It's on page 9. CS, help him, even if you are not there.
Okay, we thank you, Chair. On Chalokwa, there are no additional fundings. The total
So,
contract-
just hold on there. Direct engineering. Direct engineering. May I have your attention? You are looking for something that is not there. Page 9. Maybe I give you my report. Direct engineering. I give you my report. I show you where page 9 is.
I've seen it, Chair.
So where are the additional funds that you were telling this committee that there were 400 and something additional funds? We are talking to you and you respond. Where are the additional funds on that report?
So, Chair, from the initial 770,000 kwacha, the balance which was left there, that was the money which was used towards the completion of the same. Despite that, Chair, of course, on that project, of course, there was also an approval through CDFC.
Where is it? Appendix what?
It's here, Chair.
Dated?
It's dated the 22nd January 2024.
Do we have it? What appendix is that?
Appendix 7.
Let's go to appendix 7. There is a letter for additional funds. That's the one you're talking about?
Chair, it's different from the approval. So, Chair, from...
No. We want to be moving with you.
Okay.
Don't rush.
All right.
There is a letter here on appendix 7. Additional funds, 500,000, construction of clinic at Chalokwa, contract number, installation, CDF minute number 2022. Is this additional funds of 500? It was communicating to Hatema Buildings, Hatema Building and the Building Limited. It's dated 2024 May. Is this a letter?
For the one which came for approval, it's a different, Chair. I'm sure it's not there. From Piero Gio's office.
Director Engineering. You're not helping your committee. You have referred to appendix 7. We have followed you. Appendix 7, there is a letter dated, I've read here, it's there. And this was a communication from the Council Secretary to Hatema, May 2024, additional 500,000 kwacha. Where is the authority, a minute from CDF committee, approving for Chalokwa 500,000 kwacha here under this letter, additional to 1.2, 1,270,000. Because just a few minutes ago you responded to Dr. Mwanza, you said no, actually the balance of 500 is the one which was used for completion. You just indicated that. CS, did you get your director of engineering when he said it's only the 500 balance which was used for completion?
Yes, Chair, I noted.
Yes. Now, there is this letter, additional 500. It's in Appendix 7. We want to know, where is the authority from the CDF committee authorizing an addition for Chalokwa? Because we are wondering that the other Kalea, is it Kalea? Yes. Kayela had an addition of 600. This one, we didn't see any additional funds and approval from CDF committee. Why we are emphasizing on the CDF committee, according to guidelines, any approval should have the authority of the CDF committee. They are the ones who approve funds. But you are not showing us the approvals from CDF committee. You are writing letters direct to the contractor who have approved. Can you show us the minute? Can you pull a chair? Hold on. What is it that you are submitting to us without you indicating? Can you go to the mic and explain that what you are submitting to us? Sir, go and explain.
Sorry, Chair. My apologies.
No, don't apologize. What is this that you are submitting?
The minutes of the CDFC that approved the additional funding.
That's what we want. Thank you. It's not the part of the report that we are reading. So you people, you have a different report, you are giving us different things. This is a minute for January 2025. The ones you have submitted. You see, you approved this. The actual disbursement of the money is on Appendix 7, which was dated May. Go to Appendix 7. So you released the money without approval, and then you formalized by taking to the CDF committee. I will read this letter of the monies that you are given to this contractor. It is dated 13th May. Council Secretary, are we together? Appendix 7. 13th May, you are given additional money for Chalokwa. But the minute of approval or ratification is January this year, from 2023. So what we are trying to establish is the lack of respect for regulations. In SIAVONGA, you sit without approval. You can disburse monies, you can do anything, get money from disaster, more than whatever you can do. Then you have no minute. And I'm sure 2025, that's when you reported to SIAVONGA, isn't it, Council Secretary? And you are the one who caused this to be.
Yes, Chair.
Let's make progress. We are, as we wind up, Dr. Mwanza.
Last clarification.
Maybe before that clarification, are you seeing how good your committee is? This committee, we are following you, what you are doing. You are doing wrong things. You have no respect, no regard for regulations. That's what was obtaining SIAVONGA. 2024, you can get 500,000 kwacha without authority, give it to the contractor without even establishing what works were to be done on that additional fund. And later on, you terminated the contract. The next page, on page 7. Then you just realize we are doing wrong things. You now call 2025. because you knew you were coming to this committee, let us clean up the mess that we did in 2023. I hope this is also under investigation. Was if there is some investigations, SIAVONGA, whoever was involved in this, at that time, should be followed so that we clean and bring sanity to SIAVONGA. I wanted to read these two, and you have agreed. You are a new council secretary, you came in, you realized that there was mess at SIAVONGA. Then now we started correcting. Let's do this meeting. And my brother there was trying to sneak it, thinking that he's answering the question, knowing that he's exposing the council waste or more. We read these things. No wonder you are hiding them. You know that you did wrong things. Next question, Dr. Mwanza.
Just to seek more clarity on the same one. You know, page appendix number 7 is a letter from the director of from Ministry of Health to request the change in the size of the drawings for Kalea Health Facility, Chalokwa, and the Hachiwoz, where they are talking of changing the partitions just to enhance the functionality of the building. So this was written on 1st May 2024, and yet these contracts were running from 23rd March 2023. Like, for example, in Kalea, it was 23rd March 2023. It was supposed to go up to 23rd June 2023. So basically 1 year after the contract has been running, that is when there was a contribution from the district health director to say you can demolish some partitions so that we have enough room for patients, wards, and so on and so forth. Why did it take so long to make this change? And this change, what effect in terms of finances? What was the financial impact on the project? Because this is the origin of the question. Kalea, Chalokwa, and the Hawazu, all these places, all these 3 clinics, the design is the same. And the contracts were awarded at the same time. Even your completion certificates that you have shown us here in appendix number 7, 6, 7, and 8, they are all showing that the completion date was 30th of May 2025. They completed at the same time. Completing at the same time, same scope of work. With the Kalea, you added 600,000 kwacha. With the Chalokwa, there's no doubt, there's no proof here. You did not add any funds because the first contractor had a balance of 500,000 kwacha. So the second contractor used that 500,000 kwacha to complete the job. And for the Hachiwoza, it was there was an increment of about 500 something kwacha. You did not even show details of the variation that triggered the cost of Kalea to go up by 600,000 kwacha, whilst Chalokwa remained the same.
You were just giving, let's give this one 500. No justification as to what works were in that 500 block figure. 500 sharing money like that.
A variation needs to be. Yes. And there's the completion certificate on page 7. You can tell on appendix 7. You can tell this certificate of practical completion, contractor's name, construction of clinic at Chalokwa, contract numbers, employer, contractor tally, construction and general dealers, contract sum 1,310,000 kwacha. And the funded CDF 2023, commencement date 7th April 2025.
So there was no addition. That certificate indicates that there was no addition.
There's no addition.
And yet here there is a letter on Appendix 7. You are adding 500. You are writing the contract.
And you're even putting the dates to say the commencement date was 7th April 2025, completion date 30th of May 2025. How on earth would you construct a whole clinic
within
1 month? And 1 million.
Those are fake documents, because the start date of the project was way in 2023.
Yes.
But the completion certificates, you write start date of 2025. Yes. Are you seeing that before I ask? Are you seeing what we are talking about?
Yes, I'm seeing, but maybe we give chance to Director Engineering to clarify certain points.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you,
because
maybe
it track from the initial contract price and what was done between that period. Because
don't explain. You have said we ask him. Was the first question we are going to ask him. This project is 2023, but the completion certificate says start period date of the project. Is it which date? May 23, 2025. March 2025. Did it start in March 2025? You're Director of Engineering.
So, Chair, I would go to...
No, let's look at the completion certificate first. When did the project start?
So, Chair, there was a first contractor who didn't complete the works. Then from there, we terminated the contract for the remaining works. So, what is mentioned there, it is the Tari Construction Company. That is the company which completed the remaining works.
In March?
Started
in March?
Yes.
Do you have a contract for them?
Oh, this exposes a bit of more financial...
Let me ask Dr. Singombe first before Doc you come in.
Okay.
Dr. Singombe, as we wind up, from this director...
Chair, a logical way of doing things is that once a project has been identified, then the end user must provide a plan. The end user must provide a plan. Now, with what I'm reading, Chair, here, I don't know if I'm wrong, my apologies in advance. It's like the local authority started building these projects without the end user giving them the desired plan. So maybe I get it from them. Why didn't you consult the end user for them to provide a desired structure? Chair, look at what is coming out. These additionals, they are coming as a result of Ministry of Health not agreeing with the way the building was constructed. Why didn't we consult the end user to find out a desired plan, rather than, Chair, spending mega resources which should have gone into addressing a lot of challenges in SIAVONGA? There we are now, we are demolishing and asking for extra resources.
That's the question. Director Engineering.
Chair, let me start by admitting, as the Honorable earlier stated, that from the initial plan, Chair, in terms of the consultations, Chair, there was a lapse. So we realized that indeed we needed the end user to be part and parcel of this project.
The people of SIAVONGA, what do you mean by the lapse? As we understand, you never consulted. That's what the word we want, so that people know. Correct?
Correct, Chair.
Yes, go ahead now.
So, as I earlier alluded to, Chair, we didn't consult from the area design. That's why we had those changes here and there. But we realized that we needed to involve all the stakeholders, especially the end users, Chair.
So
Hence those changes, Chair.
Breaking, then
of course, breaking, extending.
It didn't move you, because these are resources that it was earlier indicated. Wastage of resources, 3 health posts, and many more. Honorable Singombe.
Yeah, Chair, it worries me where the Director of Engineering is now admitting that they didn't consult. Can I find out whether it's the scenario? That's how the local authority in SIAVONGA operates. Because we're not only talking about Minister of Health. We may have, Chair, schools with different sizes. Maybe, I don't know the actual size, the Dr. Mwanza would, there may be help in this scenario. You may end up having a school with the size bigger than the required one, or others smaller than the required standard. So I want to confirm, or I want them to confirm, whether SIAVONGA just allocates money and they design themselves and they give the contractor without necessarily consulting the end users.
Is that the scenario? Because it's worrying.
Chair, currently, Chair, that is the scenario and that is the direction we have taken, Chair.
Yeah, that you don't consult.
No. We are consulting the stakeholders because we are learning from the past, Chair, where we didn't consult. So from that, Chair, going forward, Chair, that is what we have been doing.
So the wastage was done, and you're okay. You're still the Director Engineering, and the Director Finance, and the CS, and everyone there. It's okay. And if you look at the way you are allocating funds, I wanted to make a comment. This was just a conduit for you and contractors to get resources. Because if there were works, when you are doing a project, you are putting the scope. The scope indicates to you. Even when the first contractor abandoned it at a certain, you do examine what is outstanding. And the outstanding works informs the amount. And the amount is speaking to the outstanding works. Now here you are just allocating 500,000 kwacha. Charotwa. Haruozu, 500,000. That is unprofessional from you, Director Engineering. If you look at these figures critically, and the experience we have gained here, you don't allocate resources like that. And the worst thing is, you allocate resources without regard of the authority. When you are doing a variation, you go to the CDF committee. These are the works we want to finance. Now you release the monies. Everything is an emergency. Even construction of a school is an emergency. You have no courtesy of the authority. You just release the monies, then the new council secretary now is cleaning up. Let's have the CDF committee to ratify the damage for 2023. And this is the trend. So, Doc, as I conclude, I wanted to indicate the last one. I will ask, we have deliberately asked the Honorable Member of Parliament for SIAVONGA to be quiet so that he doesn't defend you. So I will give him a chance to make a comment, because you have been using him to ratify on the things that you are doing wrongly. He approves something, you do something else. I want you to make a comment, then I will ask the Honorable Member.
Just for the sake of financial records, I want to understand that because the engineer, through his explanation on the certificate, completion certificate for Chalokwa, which is on appendix 7, is showing a contract price, a contract sum of 1 million, appendix number 7. It's the second last page, actually.
Yes.
Yes. So,
1,310,000.
1,310,000. That the contractor was Tally Construction and General Dealers, and that the commencement date was 7th April 2025. The completion date was 30th May 2025. His explanation here is that the project timings are related to the period that this contractor was engaged on this particular work, which means, following his explanation now, it shows that this contractor, Tally Construction and General Dealers, he is paid 1,310,000 kwacha between 7th April to May. He went further to explain, to say there were this is the second contractor. So the first contractor, of course, he wasn't given a certificate because his contract was terminated. The first contractor, the contract that he signed, according to the description, 1,270,000. So are we saying, because 1,310,000 is linked to Tally Construction, then the 1,270,000, the same site, is supposed to be connected to the first contractor who signed the contract at 1,270,000. So
is the her something?
Yes. So what is the?
Let me read the first contractor. The one is Hatemwa Building and Building Limited.
Exactly. Then if you look at this, your explanation is contrary to
no, it's right. Let me explain to us.
It's contrary to the certificate on page G, on appendix 6 for Kalea Health Post. The Kalea Health Post, you are saying the contract sum is 1,343,974, and the contractor is Royal Max Construction Limited. The commencement date is the 1st November 2023. Completion date is 30th September 2024. So, why are the completion certificates showing different dates as to what the period that the contractors, those second contractors, were engaged on the program? And the contract sum, let us be clear on this.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to give them chance. Director Engineering, CSU should be following him so that you appreciate what you are talking about.
I'm following and I can contribute.
Financial malaise in terms of administration at SIAVONGA.
Yes. On TADI, I can make a collection on TADI. I think on the certificate of completion, we erred on the amount. It's
you can't error. This is
supposed to be 494,100. That's what we're supposed to include, not 1.3.
This is not an error. You printed this and signed. Machona, who is Machona?
It's Director Engineering.
Yes, he signed on 30th March 2025. Stamped 30th May 2025. This is what he submitted, and the figure he was signing for is correct. What we want to expose here is the wrongs that you are doing in the councils. The Zambian people should see, especially SIAVONGA here. This is total chaos. You can't be. You are privileged to be in those offices. Then you do this thing to the innocent people of SIAVONGA who are supposed to benefit from these services. When they hear the figures being pronounced, they are excited. They want to see the product or the project done in their areas. So if you add this completion certificate, or you should even indicate to your fellow officers who want to argue that this committee is too tough on you, If you submit such documents that you are reading yourselves, what would you do if you are seated here? You people, you are Zambians, should have the heart for your own country. There's no one who's going to change this country. But I always advise that you are just privileged. There are people there lining with better qualifications and the zeal to work for this country in SIAVONGA, better than you. Do not take it that they are the only ones. Just see the commission advertise. How many applications go there? Then you are playing around with work. A good name is better than silver and gold. You are playing around these resources, conniving with contractors. Tomorrow you'll be in the streets. That's when you see the tough life. But us, we're not going to be kind with you. If you're wrong officers here, I'm telling you, I've got all the justifications on behalf of this committee to make strong recommendation for some of you to either be arrested or be fired. That one we're not going to neglect. Don't play around meager resources. The president has got a good policy. He wants to change this country. But you officers are the ones trying to let him down. CS, we are not going to let you do that. As we mean well to this country. Hence exposing these things. In conclusion, I want to ask the honorable member for SIAVONGA. Before he does that, he's going to make the last comment. On the analysis for desks, on page 37, as at close of December 2023, 155 desks worth 186,000 kwacha were not delivered. And you have referred us to Appendix 31. I want you to go to Appendix 31 CS. I want you to see on the delivery notes, invoices, who received the desks. On the delivery note, I want you to read for us. So, have you seen those documents? Those are not authentic documents. Just like the SARO issue. On a document that is coming to an institution, it's supposed to be acknowledged. The invoice there, if that is the basis of your payment, was not acknowledged by the person who received the desks. When you look at the invoice, it's not complete, it's suspicious. So I wanted to demonstrate to you that there is a big problem at SIAVONGA. So before I make my final remarks, I would like to ask the Honorable Member of Parliament. I will not ask the Honorable Member of Parliament for SIAVONGA, I will ask Honorable Mulunda, a member of this committee, to make some questions.
Chairperson, I thank you very much for the opportunity to make a comment. Really, I have no strength. Following the revelations that are coming from my own home, my own council, and this is the only council that we have lent, Chairperson, that actually is under ACC investigations. And the justification for ACC to move in is available here. There is no way I would believe that I can even collect a receipt from the supplier without the description of the goods that I've paid for. I wouldn't do that. Us that grew at that time, the olden days, even getting into a bus, UBZ, the conductor will be at the door. You pay money, you get a receipt. It's these days when somebody just jumps on a bus and gets off like that. But everywhere. Now, if we don't have the payment voucher, that is going to describe the things that we want to buy before we pay. We don't have the quotation, we don't have the invoice. All those things are missing. And these are public funds, by the way. So disappointing. But I knew the past few years, 2-3 years, that something somewhere is not right. Because I could see the excitement. But I knew, even as I know now, that a lot will come out of those investigations from ACC. Very unfortunate. I was reading the invoices. I will comment on two matters. I was reading the invoices for Saro. I mean the receipts, about 20 of them. No description, it's just the amount. Just like Kantemba. I'm shocked, to say the least. Just like Kantemba. There is nothing like, these are pipes, water rectification pipes for Siavamba, water rectification for Manchawa, water rectification for this area. Nicely, tabulated like that. And anybody, the auditors, when they come, they will just check, oh, these were going this side. To add the salt to the injury, Chairperson, transportation of these pipes, of these materials, I wouldn't call them pipes because they are not described there. But transportation of whatever was being transported, because what is there is just the money. Transport cost from Lusaka to Siavonga 50,000 kwacha. Number one. Second trip, 70,000 kwacha, 120,000 kwacha to deliver. Even when you're getting a tund, 30-ton truck from Nakonde, you wouldn't pay that money. But that's what we are paying. They are here on this document. Terrible revelations. And the people, it's a normal thing. And Chairperson, this is the reason as to why the past year I couldn't sit down.
Yeah.
And I made serious interventions. And anybody that would stand on the way, I would tell them. Secondly, Chairperson, myself and the district commissioner, we had an unfortunate occurrence in my constituency where we lost 5 lives. Those people were
struck by lightning.
They were struck by lightning. I'm now coming to learn that we spent 28,800 kwacha in that funeral. We are strictly following the record that we have here. 2 reference numbers carrying 2 different amounts of money. The third one carrying logistics, which you mean
fuel,
the fuel, food, and other things, 15,000 kwacha. If the government is prudent, then it will do what it has done by sending people that are going to look at our books of accounts, our accountable documents. And when these things are passing, we have very qualified officers, starting from the accountant, accounts clerk, senior accountant, the audit department, the finance department, and then we can attach this. That's one thing that embarrassed me, that I can come before your committee chairperson and attach the receipts that are actually stamped head office, which we have obtained last week on Friday, head office. And even Salo, how do you do that? On what basis were they printing these? If there is no collusion, chairperson, on what basis? I want to say, chairperson, that we are hoping that SIAVONGA will come back to the right track, and SIAVONGA will be able to deliver the services that our people are yearning, the services that our people are looking forward to every day. With the new management, I want to urge the CS that he has heard and he has seen. That is, it's his duty to make sure that he seals all the leakages, financial leakages. This was not one person doing it.
No.
It's a cartel, unfortunately, happening within my jurisdiction. Very unfortunate. I wouldn't love to do that. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
You have pierced our emotions. It's quite touching. Why do we say so? Because we are seeing officers playing around with public resources. The desire of the president is to see the Zambia change, and he is using us and yourselves to ensure that the lives of the people of SIAVONGA and the nation, the lives are transformed. We have a different picture, but there is now cartels that are trying to bring down the policies of government. That will not be allowed. So whoever was involved, we shall make recommendations. And some of us will not end there. We shall continue until action is taken. Whether you will not be transferred. You have to face justice. There is a pool of workers waiting there. We have seen this, what is happening. You can't do this. I'm very happy that he has summed it up. That was also, if you look at the projects secretary, delayed. And very good projects to do with health centers, meaning that the desire of the Member of Parliament and the CDF committee is to take the services of health services to the people there. Now, you do projects without consultation of the end user, which is the Minister of Health, which is within SIAVONGA. You sit in your council, Director Engineering comes up with a design of a health post based on his own imaginations, then they start breaking to redo the works. And the way you are allocating money, you can say that this is not a genuine thing. You just say, how much do we put there? Add 500, yes, 500. You put. Add 600, yes, 600. You don't do that. You don't do that. You take it, it's your own project at home. You would want to see how many pockets of cement and how much. Prudence in the utilization of resources. But this is not obtaining in SIAVONGA. There are so many areas we have seen. The Saro thing, we just want to say, if they picked one or two officers, the dragnet should extend to the people in the audit, engineering, and those in the finance, director of finance and the others who were involved, so that the investigating wings should touch all those. We can have the council secretary who is new. We have seen the procurement new. Where is the other procurement who was involved in this? Probably transferred. Is it Chipangali?
Yes, Chair, you are correct.
Yes. And you see what the MP is lamenting, the member of this committee. Last year, there was a council secretary, I remember, who came and said we have graded so many kilometers of roads in SIAVONGA. When the thing was not correct, he was lying to this committee. Is it not the same? You remember? Grading of roads in SIAVONGA. Roads were not done. But when you come here, you want to give a report. now that procurement transferred from Chasefu, transferred to SIAVONGA. SIAVONGA transferred to Chipangali. We are not ashamed to say the truth. In Chasefu, the same person, sorry to tell you this, and this is emotional for the country, he procured a fisher board. You remember? A fisher board at 1,050,000 at Kamsisi school. A school called Kamsisi in Chaboli ward. I did a report that I submitted to say this, come and investigate. And the Minister of Law Government came in, did the investigation. That report was kept under, we don't know who was keeping it at the commission there. Instead of acting, they transferred the same person back to SIAVONGA. SIAVONGA procured what? A tank stand. 26,000. I still have the figures. My memory is good, isn't it? Something 30,000 something or something. Now what we're trying to do is that you officers, if you're doing this to SIAVONGA, the commission just transfers you. You take the same to another council. Why should we be transferring people? We want to ask this to the commission. Look at this. We have a problem. And we'll be talking as a talking shop. This committee just talks. We are not going to stop until action starts to take place. Those erring officers, set them aside. We had good officers in the law government. He's coming from law government. He was a councillor there. He was a council chairperson. I've worked all my life in councils. People had the heart for the country. But we didn't have resources. Now we have the government. We say you have nothing to do. Here are the resources. Now the culture is something else. But this committee will help. We are not going to fail, Madam Speaker. We are not looking at faces. For me and the committee, just you are a wrong person, set aside. This country should change. We have a government that means to develop this country, and we need the proper officers. Projects are approved by the CDF committee. Now you have no audacity to consult them. You are making adjustments, variations without regard. Where on earth? That will not be condoned. So CS is sad. It's a very bad report. We had another council in the morning. Their report was fairly small, even when they are dealing with the 3 constituencies. 3. I'll mention Monze. But if you look at this, it's a big thing. You are dealing with 1 constituency. So it's sad, but I hope I'm speaking to someone. Speaking to some people is nothing but action. You should go and put your house in order. All those who are involved, we shall ensure that you reap what you sow. That one we're not going to fail, because that is the only way. There are no 2 ways about it. Talking shop should not be the same. Action should be the order of the day. So we shall make sure, as we document and we track you, if at all you be transferred, we shall continue talking until the people of Zambia will say, why are you transferring Mr. Jambos from one point to another? What attachment do you have to that person who is destroying the government? We are not going to allow someone who destroyed this government by failing on what you are expected to do. With that said, I would like to withdraw the immunity that was earlier conferred on you. From now on, you're on your own. Go back and put your house in order.
Still watching Parliament TV, and that was a submission from SIAVONGA Town Council, and I hope that you did follow the deliberations and of course the queries that the members have and the responses that were given. So later on we do expect the last witness to appear before the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and this is Sinazongwe Council and Sinazongwe Town Council. Just a reminder, if you've just tuned in to, of course, Parliament TV, the Committee on Local Government Accounts is considering the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And I hope that you've enjoyed listening and watching deliberations that have been taking place in the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Remember, in the morning we had a submission from Monze Town Council, and the Council Secretary did make a submission to the committee, and members of Parliament, members of the committee did, of course, ask questions on points, on clarifications that arose from the report. Just to mention that tomorrow, it being of course 10th June, we do expect that the House will commence its sitting, and this is the third meeting of the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly. And I would just urge you, our dear viewers, to follow deliberations on, of course, Parliament TV. We are on Topstar, Channel 5, DSTV 272, and Go TV. We're on Channel 100. And in case you're not in a place where you can watch Parliament TV, you can always follow Parliament Radio on the various frequencies in the various areas in the country. But also to mention that you can also follow deliberations via the Parliament website, which is www.parliament.gov.zm. So I take a short break. In a short while, stay tuned. We'll be having the last witness that is going to make a submission to the committee. Parliament TV, dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you.